Bonjour, and welcome back to another episode of me showing you something about Bromeliads. Let me try that again. Hi, welcome back to another episode, and today I'm going to show you how to take out a Bromeliad, which is pot-bound, has pupped, and how to split this Bromeliad. So this is a Vriesea platynema, and this is how to do that. So without any further wastage of time, let's get cracking, shall we? Okay. So this is the Bromeliad in question, which is a Vriesea platynema. Okay. And you can see that it's got two pups. It's been in this pot for a while, so they're obviously struggling. It was also standing in a place where the water kind of missed it, so you can see that the pups are a little stressed, and so they've got this very fluted appearance. And the pot, it's a 20 centimeter pot, and it's really like root bound, so I really need to get this out. It's also got some infection on it right there, you can see. Let me just see if I can clear that up. So that right there needs to come off, and basically with that, all I'm going to take is a little bit of dishwashing liquid or rubbing alcohol, and I'll just wipe it down with cotton wool and rubbing alcohol wherever I see this happening, and then we're good. So now, what I'm going to do about taking this out is I'm going to try and squeeze the side of the pot. So I'm filming alone today, obviously, because I'm under lockdown. So I'm going to squeeze the pot, and then I'm going to remove it and then film again and show you what that looks like, what the root system looks like, and then we can begin to remove the leaves. But first and foremost, the water is something that needs to come out. So that, I'm literally just gonna let me just back up a little bit and show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to grab the pot and I'm going to feed all the water to the other bromeliads by turning it upside down. And then it's got a tag, so let's get the tag out. So there you go. Vriesea platynema variation rosea. Okay, that's the name, so that we've got to keep very safe. Usually have a second tag in here as well. So, Vriesea platynema variation rosea. Okay, so that we're putting down. So, Vrieseas are obviously foliage bromeliads, so generally they don't really have flowers that are too spectacular. But as you can see, the foliage is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this tip of the leaf right here, which is just gorgeous. That is stunning. And this plant desperately needs to be split. So let's get going. Okay, so here you can now see that I've removed the plant from the pot, and I've taken off I've sort of broken off some of the bark, which the leftover wood chips, which I've now taken off just to free up the root ball a little bit. Okay, whoops, there we go. And you can now see that there is 1, 2, and 3 pups. And then look in there, you see that infection right there? That we're going to get rid of right now. So, bloody insects. Okay, so basically what I will do now is I'm going to start by removing the lower leaves from one end to the other. So I'm just going to tear them off. Like so. And I'm going to continue this process until I reach one of these pups here. And then I'll show you how to separate the pup. Okay. Right, so now I have taken off all the old leaves. Right, there you can see the plant, and you can see the pups are now exposed. I've even gone as far as to expose the littlest pup, which isn't ready to come off yet. Remember, there's a 2/3 rule, so 2/3 the mother size, and you can remove the plant. And then we'll show you what kind of growing medium to actually put this into. So both these two pups are 2/3 the mother size, at least. If they're not, then if you haven't done it before, I would say probably not a good idea. But even if they are, I would still do it because I know how to do it. But yeah, you'd definitely once you've done it a couple of times, you can read the plant and you can see whether it's ready or not. So that will come with time. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is get a pair of secateurs, and I'm going to find the little meeting point over there between the two plants, and I'm going to wedge it in there, and I'm going to just try and cut it off. Okay. When I say 2/3, just for clarity, the plant doesn't always need to be 2/3 the mother's size, as is in this case. It's not technically 2/3. I mean, if you're really going to do the mathematics on it. However, when I say 2/3, with certain species or certain genuses, you can separate the pups at different stages. 2/3 is the safety rule. Okay, so if you've never worked with bromeliads before, or you've never split it, or you've got a really rare bromeliad and you're not really sure of how this is going to go down because you've not done it, then the 2/3 rule applies. In this case, I've done it literally in my sleep billions of times. I can't tell you how long. I mean, I was a kid. So for me, it's technically not 2/3. However, I can tell that the plant is mature enough to pot it up just by looking at it. So basically what I have done is I've allowed it now. Obviously 2 days have elapsed, so essentially you want it to dry out. You don't need to let it dry out. Cinnamon would do the trick. I'm still going to put cinnamon on here, just as a precautionary measure, because I like to do that. And then we're going to pot it up right now. So here we go. So here you can see that I have now put the blade in right there. Okay, and I'm about to separate that part right there. So I'm just going to try and do it with one hand and see if I can manage. Okay, and then we're going to see if it is loose. There we go. Okay, great. So you can see it's got no roots. So essentially you want it to be a little bit older than that, but this for me is going to work. So literally what I'm going to do is I'll peel back these lower leaves right there, and then I'll also take this one off. I'll see if I can get this one off like so. Okay. And then maybe I'll take this lot off there that I'm holding, and I'll take this one off here as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip this in cinnamon, and then we're going to pot it up. So there we go. So now I've removed, and you can see it's quite fleshy. So that part has been removed. It's the length of it. You can see it's actually struggled quite a bit. So it's desperate need of a potting up. So I'm just going to do the other one as well. So here we've got the cinnamon. I'm just going to give it a very generous helping of cinnamon. Like that. And then I'm going to rub it in. but it seems like the street's really busy today, the highway, which is interesting, considering we're still in stage 4. Sorry, I don't want to be talking about Rona on this episode, because Rona is not welcome here. Yeah, okay. So, that's the cinnamon done. And now, we're going to talk a little bit about the growing medium. Oh, we also need to clean it down. So basically, I'll show you just a snippet of how I clean this plant of all of its infection. Okay, good. Right, so all I've got in this bottle is rubbing alcohol, 70%. So that's the brand is called Wintergreen Rubbing Alcohol. And if you're in South Africa, you can get it at Discount. Okay, so pretty much let's find some of this infection. So in there you can see that, and it's actually causing discoloration of the leaf. Just see if I can show that to you right there. So there's some baby scale right there. Let's just see if I can zoom in on that. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of these guys and stop them in their tracks before they even get going properly. And so what I'm going to use is some cotton wool. So I'm literally just gonna do that and rub that. And wherever I see this, I'm going to continue this process. So it's a bit difficult with one hand, but I'm going to do this off camera, and I'm going to complete the entire plant. Once I've done the entire plant, I'm going to give it a good rinse underwater and shake it off properly, like nice and, you know, if you want to, you can let it air dry. I'm not going to do that because it's going to take forever to air dry here because the humidity is at 90% today, and it's very misty as well. So that's just not going to happen. Otherwise, I'm going to be like 99 when we finish this video. So that's that, and I'll see you back here for the growing medium. Okay, so we're back with the growing medium. So I've pre-mixed the medium. I've already mixed it up, and basically what it contains is predominantly orchid mix. So I would say, I'll put it up on screen. I think it's like 80%, 60% or thereabout, between 60 and 70, I'd say, orchid mix. And then the rest, a very little bit of perlite, bit of cocoa chip, and some peat, like mulled sphagnum peat. Very little. You don't need the sphagnum peat, of course. You can also use a little bit of river sand, very little, ever so slightly, or you don't need to at all. You could actually just do this completely in orchid mix. So look, the thing with bromeliads is, as long as the mix is free draining and organic, sort of, and by organic I don't mean farmed organically, I mean organic matter. So nice chunky bits. You don't also want the medium to be too big, like the particulates to be too big. Like for example, let's see, like you don't want tons of this stuff, or the water will just pass straight through, and you'd have to end up watering a lot more in order to get this stuff soaked and for the plant to actually make its attachment. Okay, so this is another 20. These are two 20 centimeter pots that I've got here, and then we've got our two young ladies who have all been powdered with cinnamon and washed down with rubbing alcohol, you know, because that's how they roll. And now we're just gonna scoop it in. scoop them in, scoop their growing medium in, and position them. So let's see if I can. I'm getting really good at this one-handed thing. So let's take that out and then just do that. 20, 3. Yes, I am counting in Russian, my friends. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick it nice and deep, same as we did with the pineapple. And then I want to firm it. I'm just going to firm it down around. Give me a sec, because I need to put the camera down to do this. Right, so even though they look more crooked than a witch's nose, right now they're in, and they're gonna do good. So I'm gonna put them, if you can see the pineapples from the last video, they're doing okay. Haven't really moved much yet, but yeah, so I'm putting them in a similar position. So I've got light overhead, or natural light, so they'll get sunlight. It is filtered light, and when it does, if it rains excessively, I'll move them out of the rain, because what you don't want is, you don't want them to remain wet excessively. However, for the first lot, like their first time in the pot, I'm going to give them a generous helping of water, just to get the medium nice and soaked, and from there the medium can naturally almost dry out. So you just want to ensure that the actual plant has got water in its urn. So these, even though they look crooked right now, they are going to straighten out, and they'll just become these picture perfect bromeliads in a couple of months' time. So I used a 20 centimeter pot because this is quite a big bromeliad, and even though it looks, the pot is almost, let's see, the pot's quite big. This bromeliad, it does get quite big. So this is Vriesea, platynema, variation, rosea. So that's pretty much it, and that's how to do them. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you've got a comment or question, please also comment or question in the comment question section. Okay, bye now.